2025 Indonesian Grand Prix in Mandalika was supposed to be another chapter in the fairy tale comeback season of Marc Marquez. Ducati had already locked up the riders' and constructors' titles, with the team's championship on the verge of confirmation and 4 rounds left to go. The freshly crowned world champ looked primed to keep the dominance rolling, but just seconds after the lights went out, everything flipped on its head. A lap 1 clash between Bezzecchi and Marc Marquez didn't just send both riders tumbling into the gravel, it sent shockwaves rippling through the entire paddock. Not because crashes are rare in MotoGP, they're part of the deal, but because this one involved the sport's biggest star at full throttle at a make-or-break moment in the season. And the fallout could echo all the way to the championship's final stretch. The first and most pressing worry? Marquez's physical condition. After getting launched off his Ducati, the Spanish ace immediately clutched his right arm, the same one that's been through 4 surgeries since that career-altering crash at Jerez back in 2020. Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi was straight up with MotoGP.com. Unfortunately, Marc took a nasty spill and it looks like there might be a collarbone fracture. But we've got to wait until tomorrow afternoon in Madrid and see what the CT scan says to know for sure. I hope it's not as bad as it looked out there. But yeah, something's up, Marquez confirmed the suspicions shortly after. I banged up the right arm again. This time, the collarbone. They would wait for the CT scan in Madrid to confirm whether it was a simple fracture or ligament damage, which would affect recovery time. Adding to the drama, Marquez's body language right after the crash, clutching his arm, rolling his shoulder sparked whispers of a possible dislocation. Some folks in the paddock even figured he might have instinctively thought his shoulder had popped out again. Nightmare scenario, given his injury history. For Marquez, the call's already clear. I'll listen to the docs and then try to get back out there as soon as I can, but within recovery time. It's a mature, calculated mindset from a rider who rushed back from injury in 2020 and paid the price for years. This time, with the title in the bag, there's zero reason to push it. While the medical team assesses the damage, Ducati's brass shifted focus to the incident itself. Tardozzi, who'd been celebrating Ducati's historic clean sweep just moments earlier, didn't mince words on Bezzecchi's role. From my view, I think Marco had a killer weekend up to that first lap he showed he's the fastest guy out there. But he needs to think a bit more and hang back. I think he got too aggressive. Same old story. Races aren't won on lap 1. Marco made a mistake. But we're hoping to see both guys back on track ASAP. They talked it out, and Marco said twice, "I'm sorry to Marc." It's measured but pointed criticism. Ducati knows Bezzecchi's got raw speed in spades. He owned qualifying and won the sprint from the back, but they also reckon he misjudged the moment. That vibe was echoed by Aprilia Racing CEO Massimo Rivola. Everyone saw over the race weekend how impressive his race pace was. Sector 2 was where he was blowing past the field. Maybe he got caught up in it. Didn't realise how much speed he was carrying into that slow corner. For sure, if he'd been in a different spot, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he got a little jittery. I don't know if he was trying to make up ground too fast. Rivola's take adds some nuance to the story. This wasn't just a reckless bump. It was a mix of blistering speed, a lousy start, and maybe a dash of panic. Even with differing takes in the paddock, both Ducati and Aprilia agree on one thing. Marco Bezzecchi tried to do too much, too soon. Tardozzi hammered it home in multiple interviews. He needs to think a little more and wait. Races aren't won on lap 1, they're won over 27 laps. Rivola suggested Bezzecchi's hunger to claw back from a poor getaway clouded his strategy. When you feel like you've got the pace to win, You want to get it back quick, but clearly that was a mistake. Bezzecchi's weekend was damn near flawless until then. Pole by 4/10, sprint win from 8th on the grid, Sector 2 pace that had rivals scratching their heads. But that kind of confidence can crank up the pressure. The pressure to prove Saturday wasn't a fluke, to charge to the front right away, to show Aprilia can finally hang with Ducati on pure speed. The timing of this mess? Brutal. With just 4 rounds left, Phillip Island, Malaysia, Portugal and Valencia. Márquez's injury hits right as Ducati's sealed the titles and gears up for 2026 planning. For Ducati, a sidelined or half-fit Márquez could mess with their testing program and marketing momentum. He's not just their champ, he's the face of their current dynasty. For Aprilia and Bezzecchi, it's a self-inflicted wound. A potential podium or win turns into 0 points and heat from the bosses. Rivola admitted, "This is exactly the kind of thing we want to avoid. But in cutthroat racing like MotoGP, you know how razor-thin the margins are. These guys are all gladiators squeezing every ounce from their bike sometimes without overthinking the big picture." Meanwhile, FIM stewards confirmed Bezzecchi's likely facing a penalty at Phillip Island, with the hearing on hold until he's medically cleared. That could pile on even more stress for Aprilia's end-of-season push. Maybe the most telling part of this whole saga doesn't come from the teams, it's from Márquez himself. In a message to fans before jetting to Madrid for scans, he wrote, "Please, no hard feelings toward Marco. Nobody does this on purpose." Classic Márquez, fierce competitor, but fair play. He's been on both sides of controversial scraps in his career, from aggressor in title fights to victim of bonehead moves. His measured response has helped cool what could have blown up into a heated rivalry overnight. Paddock packs up and the lights go out in Mandalika. One thing's clear, this sport never stops teaching lessons in courage, risk and respect. Márquez may be sidelined for now, but the fire in his eyes isn't going anywhere. And when he's back, you can bet the entire grid will feel it. What do you think? Drop your take in the comments below, smash that like button and subscribe for the latest breakdowns. Thanks for watching.